On this episode of Tech Today, we tell you everything about nothing by Kalpe, the phone 2A, of course. We also tell you all about a digital detox and how to do it successfully. We answer all your tech questions, and we also have a very special conversation lined up at the end of the show. I'm your host, Aayush Ailawadi, and this is your favorite technology show, Tech Today. What's up, guys? Did you say nothing? If you said nothing, I could crack a joke on the nomenclature of nothing, but I have to say this, third time's a charm. And this time, Karl Bhai, as he calls himself, could have possibly given us tech enthusiasts everything for the price of nothing. Now you take it out of the box, and the one thing you can say is minimalist and refined. Because if you look at the phone 2A, it looks like two eyes are staring back at you from a spaceship. That's what it looks like with this dual camera placement, which we'll test later in the show in real world circumstances. But the design, it feels very premium. It's got this equivalent bezel all around, symmetric, the same size, very keen attention to detail. It grips in the hand the way you just want it to. It has a fingerprint sensor right here, and then you're greeted by this Nothing OS, which is always getting better with each edition. And if you look at the device, yes, it does have the glyph interface, but all of that action is now moved to the top. It just has 3 LED strips over here, giving you all that functionality, telling you about whether your Zomato or Swiggy order has been delivered, what's the status of your Uber, Google Calendar integration as well, whether you're getting a call, what's the charging status like. But over here, everything is missing in terms of the glyph interface. Now, a lot of people earlier said that the glyph interface was a gimmick. We thought so as well with the Nothing Phone 1, but last year when we started warming up to it, it became almost indispensable with our use cases. This one still has it, but it is minimalistic. Now, what else has changed? If you look at the phone and you consider the display, it's vibrant, the colors are fairly decent if you're watching content on it. Content seems fine as well. Crystal clear. The volume rockers here on the left side, the phone speakers are fairly decent. You can see that this AMOLED display, 6.7 inches, a flexible AMOLED panel that offers full HD plus resolution and a variable refresh rate from 30 to 120 Hz, 10-bit color, and up to 1300 nits of peak brightness. If you take this out in direct sunlight, it's not an issue. In the studio, it's perfectly fine. Honestly, it gets the job done. But again, I don't think this is a phone really geared towards performance enthusiasts. This, I feel, is eventually, as it gets better, going to become a way of life. The Nothing lineup is looking stronger with every edition. Now, I'm going to head outside very soon to test the rear camera, but what's the selfie camera like? Okay, a fairly decent selfie camera, but what is this like when you test it outdoors? Before we head outdoors, you should always apply sunscreen, and I should also tell you what really powers this device under the hood. It's a custom-made mid-range MediaTek processor. Now, MediaTek has really been leveling up when you talk about, well, their fight with Qualcomm and really giving you that superior chipset. When we were at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, we saw a bunch of AI features happening on those MediaTek devices. Very exciting times ahead for the chipset maker, but they've powered this one with a particular MediaTek Dimensity 7200 Pro SoC, which means it's brilliant for daily use, good for gaming, fairly decent for gaming, and really good when it comes to battery life. So if you want maximum performance at this price point, couple that with what they're doing with Nothing OS, I think we have a win already. Now let's head outside and check if the camera is really a bang for your buck. Some lovely weather here in Mumbai, and when you have the Nothing Phone 2A or any Nothing phone with their operating system, one winner for sure is the weather app. It's addictive, the way they've played around with just 2 or 3 colors, telling you that the air quality is 113. Doesn't sound that good when you compare it to the global AQI, but compared to New Delhi, hey, this is very good and it's getting better, even though there's so much construction work on. But I'm not talking about the weather app, which I said is a big hit. I want to test the camera app, because at this price point, are you getting flagship killer features with the camera? So this has become iconic on Tech Today. Let's see if I can take a quick photo shot Let me see what it's doing with this particular picture. Slightly hazy sunshine, like the weather app is saying. It's done a fairly decent job. We got to test this in low light as well. But I did take a couple of portrait shots. And here of our Tech Today camera person, Rajesh Revankar, shooting the Nothing Phone 2A. And he's doing a stellar job at it. Now, while you'd expect it to really diffuse the background, you look right over here above his hairline, it looks like a halo effect, whereas way too much processing happening and it's not the complete picture. So maybe the portrait shot isn't the best one, but how does it do with colors? That's what I'm going to show you next. Well, on Tech Today, we want to live life in Technicolor, and we also want to review the Nothing Phone 2A. Everything is about monochrome, but we want some color and some flavor in our lives. So I've come to this lovely fruit stall, maybe do a little bit of shopping for home as well. But first, we test what the colors are like and the color reproduction is like on this particular phone. Let me have a look. Takes a second to process on this MediaTek Dimensity chip. And all right, this is not flagship camera performance for sure, but it gets the job done, right? I think when you're talking about the Nothing Phone 2A, it looks good. It's meant for a very different purpose. I'm not a camera enthusiast if I'm buying this phone. I think this is a lifestyle choice. If I want to stay, well, a little away from using technology and my screen all the time, then maybe I use the Humane AI pin. But until that becomes ubiquitous, I can use the Nothing Phone 2A with this absolutely slick and minimalistic OS, barring this GPay icon which comes in color. But I think that's what you're going with this phone for. At this price point, I think it's a fairly decent camera performance on the Nothing Phone 2A. A fairly decent camera performance, but what I love is that they have broken away from the norm, disrupting the way that Carl Bhai wants it with the camera placement right here in the center of this NFC coil. So different from all the other devices in the market, so different from its previous versions as well, the Nothing Phone 1 and the Phone 2. I'm smiling because I'm using Nothing OS and it is an absolute delight. So refreshing given what's been happening, especially in the Android way of things. And that's something you need to know about. When you're setting this device up, you get an option between Nothing OS and default Android. How do you want the phone to look? Well, it's a no-brainer. When you're using this device, in fact, I would want all my devices to run this operating system. It's slick, it's smooth, everything seems to work, and I love this monochrome design. The weather app should be available on every device in the world. This is how you want a weather app to really perform. And honestly, it gives really accurate metrics as well, wherever it's pulling the data and however it's displaying the data. It starts off at 23,999 for the base variant. That's 8 GB RAM and 128 GB storage. And if you want more, then it's 25,999 for 8 GB RAM and 256 GB of storage. And then if you want to go all the way, it's 28,000 rupees for 12 GB RAM and 256 GB storage. But there's a bunch of surprises, especially if you want the base variant. This particular device is available for a limited time for nearly 20,000 rupees. 19,999 with their brand ambassadors talking about it as well, makes this what, 17 to 18,000 rupees cheaper than the Nothing Phone 2. That's what Carl Bhai has gotten right this time. It is the price point. The Nothing Phone 2A is competing with the likes of the Realme 12 Pro and the Redmi 13 Pro and a bunch of other devices in the Android ecosystem. But what none of those devices give you is Nothing OS. What none of them give you is that refinement of design. What I really like is that Carl Bhai has really walked the talk and made this an India-focused announcement. This launch was a global launch that took place this week in New Delhi. Well, that's a sign of things. He changed his name to Carl Bhai, got a new brand ambassador, and he's given you a value for money product which the Indian tech enthusiasts will genuinely appreciate. So we appreciate that you've actually walked the talk, Carl, especially after our exclusive conversation on Tech Today, where you told us that India is an important market for Nothing, and this is honestly a testament to that fact. The Nothing Phone 2A, fantastic software, brilliant design, super unique approach, refreshing, value for money at the right price point, and of course, brilliant battery life and a good chipset. This is honestly everything at the price of nothing. You know, they say in an increasingly digital age, it's important to go analog sometimes. Disconnect, live under a rock. I know I'm saying this on a technology show, But it's important, and we learned that earlier this week when Instagram was down. Was that a blessing or a curse? How do you actually undergo a digital detox successfully? Pranav Dikshit brings you this special report.
This week, social media giants Facebook, Instagram and Messenger faced a major outage, leaving millions disconnected from their virtual worlds. But was this unexpected break a blessing in disguise? Let's hit the streets of Delhi and find out what people think of a concept called digital detox.
It's pretty cool.
Can't imagine.
I was having a nice little nap for myself, to be honest. I didn't notice it, honestly. No.
Not that too much on Instagram.
From your screen time is very necessary
Sounds very fancy.
I think that is the best thing to do.
because a lot of time we just start doom scrolling.
What's your idea of digital detox?
For me, honestly, today what we have come to, digital detox just only doesn't mean being active on digital or any digital platforms, but a screen detox would have been good.
It's pretty cool to do a digital detox for time to time.
Definitely something which it's required.
Really affect your mental health. So when I go on a digital detox, I'm making sure that I'm using that time to sleep better.
Be going to mountains or beaches and spending a week there without social connection so that I can feel myself.
For me and my family, and I was back to my plants, doing some gardening, so it was a great time.
When we had at least a few hours of digital detox, because being that tech savvy and actually working in the sector of media and social media, digital in general, I couldn't imagine myself doing that.
A digital detox ideally would be not using my phone, not using social media, just cutting off, in a way.
So if social media never existed, let's say, what would you have been doing instead of, scrolling your phone?
Probably writing letters.
I mean, I probably would have gone to my childhood things such as going for horse riding or basketball. That's pretty much it. Spending more time with people in real life than in real life.
Spending time with the people around me.
Prefer to play football or cricket.
Reading a book or maybe watching one of my favorite TV series.
I'm sure I would be spending it more productively.
So there you have it, folks. Digital detox is on everybody's minds. And the recent social media outage provided a perfect opportunity for many to disconnect and engage more in meaningful activities.
It's now time for my favorite segment on the show where I get to answer all your tech queries. Now, the Tech Today team has really put together some of your top questions. The first one comes from Rohan, who's in the market for a new laptop and is asking, should I buy the MacBook Air with M2 or M1? Okay, let me answer this with a little bit of crystal ball gazing for you. It's a very timely question, Rohan, because Apple has actually made your decision a little tougher as of this week. They've announced a MacBook Air 13-inch and 15-inch with M3. Now, honestly, with Apple Silicon, it's so much better and more powerful and more efficient than any other laptop out there. But if you're looking at the M1 and the M2, great devices on their own. The M2 as well, you might get that at a much reduced price point. But I personally think if you're so close to the upgrade cycle, and literally in this week, in a matter of days, the M3 will be available. I think that is a device you should consider buying if you're in the market for a new MacBook or a laptop. And I'll tell you why, with a number of features on this particular device. One, of course, it's going to be faster, better editing. It's going to be a lot more conducive to AI features, and it's going to support 2 external displays if that's something you like in terms of your editing. It also comes with Wi-Fi 6E, which is twice as fast when it comes to Wi-Fi compared to previous versions. And it is also 20% faster than the M2 chip. So that makes your decision a whole lot easier. We've tested the M3 on the other MacBooks, on the Pro and other devices as well. It is lightning fast when you're coming to the edit table. It's also brilliant in terms of power efficiency. That means more battery life. There's all sorts of gaming features because Apple's making a big push when it comes to gaming. It's got an 8-core CPU up to a 10-core GPU, support for 24 gigs of unified memory. And remember, the M3 means a big push for gaming, a next-generation GPU with hardware-accelerated mesh shading and ray tracing. That means gaming is going to have really good lighting, reflections, and shadows, of course. And just like the space black MacBook Pro, this one's going to come with a special seal or a coating to prevent fingerprints when you're talking about the new midnight color. That's an anodization seal which reduces fingerprints. Most importantly, when it comes to voice isolation and wide spectrum for the microphone, there's going to be upgrades as well. So there's incremental upgrades in some departments and some indispensable, well, absolutely necessary upgrades for you as well. So please, my friend, wait for a few days. Pre-orders have already started, and I think deliveries roll out. Availability is on March 8th. The 13-inch MacBook Air with M3 will cost you 1,15,000 rupees without any discounts. In a few months, of course, there'll be an Apple education offer, which makes it a whole lot cheaper if you have a student discount. So please, if you're upgrading now in March 2024, the M3 MacBook Air is a device you need to consider. Well, keep them questions coming. We love all of them. You can always write into us on our social media handles. Send me a DM, and if I can answer it on the go, it will be done, my friends. And if it's something that needs to be answered in public interest, it will be featured, of course, on your favorite technology show, Tech Today. The next question is from Priya, who's an avid gamer, and she asks, when I am gaming, I think that some of these Android devices don't give me the maximum performance. What do you think of the OnePlus 12R Gaming Edition? Gaming Edition? Wait. Are you talking about the OnePlus 12R Genshin Impact? Because I know a lot of gamers have been writing to me about this. It's a massive box. Let me tell you what's inside it, and then we'll tell you about what this particular device means for gamers like you. There you go, Priya. This is the OnePlus 12R Genshin Impact. Honestly, we played a couple of games on the go. In this particular device, with all those customizations, I think what they have managed to do is that they give you all of these goodies if you're a gaming enthusiast for this particular game, and I know a lot of y'all are. And then it is also the only such device anywhere in the world which is customized for this game. Not only the looks and the aesthetic of it, but small things when it comes to the accessories, the SIM ejector tool, and even some of the software optimizations. So if you are a fan of this particular game and you're maybe playing it maybe competitively, then this is a fantastic device for you, the OnePlus 12R Genshin Impact Edition. Digital transformation, artificial intelligence. How do you apply this to racing? How do you apply this to IT? What's India's IT sector looking like? We caught up with a top tech leader at the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, and here's what he had to say. Mohit, you spent a fair amount of time at top tech companies like Infosys as well, now at Tech Mahindra. What I want to understand from you is, now that this AI wave is coming our way and people are talking about what this means for the jobs debate, I'd love to get your thoughts on it. Do you think now the way we see what tech companies are doing, there are layoffs happening, and then there's another school of thought which talks about this augmenting existing jobs. People need to embrace the AI revolution. Where do you stand in this AI debate, and how does it really translate to your style of leadership at Tech Mahindra?
No, so I think, look, clearly it is going to expand the size of the pie dramatically, and therefore will open up significant opportunities for everybody, right? I do feel that this is a situation where I liken it to an Iron Man suit, right? It just is an incredible amplifier of human capabilities. And so you take, whether it's a programmer or or an office worker or somebody working in a contact center, you have the ability to dramatically amplify your performance. Your learning curves get so much shorter, right? Typically, to be an expert programmer, you'd go through many years. Now with the help of these, the AI tools that are available, with the help of Copilot, with the help of the open source alternatives, you are able to become an expert programmer almost in no time. And so I feel that the opportunities are always going to be very, very significant. This really allows us to, this will really allow for the global economy to expand in a very meaningful way. And that will open up a lot more opportunities for everybody.
And in terms of some of your key priorities since you've taken over, I'm guessing it's a new style of leadership. Like you said, you had that transition period. What are some of your key focus areas, Mohit, when you really take Tech Mahindra into genAI?
Yes. So look, I think, from a TechM perspective, like I said, found really a healthy and a robust platform with great talent, a great set of clients, and a very supportive group.
Yes.
What I've been focused on is building out a plan for revenue, right? Which is how do we make sure that we're able to, maintain our leadership position in telecom and manufacturing, but also become a very credible player in financial services, where we have a $1 billion plus practice, for instance, right? Or in healthcare and life sciences, or in retail and utilities and energy. How do we look at our geography footprint? We've got a very healthy business in Japan, for instance, right? How do we increase that manifold as the Japanese economy comes back to growth?
Right.
We've been working on a plan for, for margins, right? Which is about, driving greater productivity.
That's right.
Focusing on higher value-added service lines.
Right.
And very importantly, we've been focused on a plan for the organization. How do we think of the strategic narrative for TechM in the age of GenAI, right? How do we think about learning in the age of GenAI?
That's right.
How do we think about our infrastructure? So it's a full-fledged program of work that I think will lead to, an even stronger organization.
Well, that's about all the time we have on this episode of Tech Today. We hope you've enjoyed this action-packed episode of your favorite technology show. I'm your host, Aayush Ailawadi, planning for the next episode already, because as they say, in a world that's going digital, be analog. Watch more sunsets than an OTT service. I'm your host, Aayush Ailawadi, saying until next week, adios.